Okay, guys, Mrs. Ackland here. We are going to take a look at IXL volume of cylinders. Let's take a look at our first problem. It says, what is the volume of this cylinder? Use pi is approximately equal to 3.14 and round your answer to the nearest hundredth. So pi is going to be a part of the formula we're going to use, and they don't want us to use the calculator pi. They want us to use this approximation 3.14. Okay, I'm taking a look at this figure. This figure is in fact a cylinder, and I can see some different dimensions have been marked on the figure. So I can see this number 12 right here. This is the height of my cylinder. And this 11 right here, this is this dotted line from the center of the circular surface of the cylinder out to the outer edge, and that is the radius. So I'm going to go ahead and just label that as such. So the 11 is our radius, that's our R, and the 12 is our height. Okay, so now we're thinking to ourselves, well, gee, we know the radius, we know the height, we know they want us to use 3.14 for pi. How do we find the volume of a cylinder? Well, you know what? I'm going to go down here to this lesson, volume of cylinders, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm hoping they're going to tell us, and they're going to give us the formula. Okay, so they're giving it, they're telling us right here. It says, what is a cylinder? A cylinder is a three-dimensional shape with two identical circular faces, okay, and one curved surface. So there's a circle up here at the top and a circle down here at the bottom, and then we've got this distance in between them. The radius of a cylinder is the distance from the center out to the edge of the circular face. We just identified the radius for our problem, and the height is the shortest distance between the two circular faces. So to find the volume of a cylinder, we can use this formula. The volume equals capital B, and capital B is the area of the base, okay? And this base is a circle. We know how to find the area of a circle. So find the area of that circle and then multiply it by the height. In case you forget what the area of a circle is, they kind of broke it down for us down here. So more specifically, volume of a cylinder is pi r squared times h. Okay, so I'm going to click back over to our problem. We'll click back, hopefully that'll take us back. Okay, and we actually have a new problem now, but that's okay. We know our formula. I'm going to go ahead and write that on the board. So all of these problems involve cylinders, so volume is equal to pi, but they want us to use 3.14 instead. So 3.14 times the radius squared times the height. Okay, let's read our new problem here. It says a cylinder has a height of 15 millimeters and a radius of 6 millimeters. What is its volume? Okay, so let's go ahead and fill this in. We've got 3.14 times the radius squared. Okay, and it says our radius is 6. So this is times 6 squared times the height, and our height is 15. Let's pop that into our Desmos calculator. So 3.14 times 6, that's the radius squared, times our height of 15. Okay, and that gives us, I'm just going to copy this, 1,695.6. And they want us to round to the nearest hundredth, which would be 2 digits to the right of the decimal point. We don't even have 2 digits here, so there's nothing to do. We'll go ahead and submit. Okay, another cylinder problem. Let's put our formula up here on the board. So the volume of a cylinder is equal to 3.14 times the radius squared times the height. Okay, let's start to fill this in. So 3.14. This looks like the first problem that we had that we didn't actually get to do. Times the radius squared. Remember, the radius is this distance from the center of the circular edge out to the outer edge. So this dotted line right here, that's the radius. So 13 squared times the height. The height is 9. Let's pop this in. So 3.14 times 13 squared times, whoops, our height of 9. Okay, and I think they want us to round to the nearest hundredth, which is 2 digits to the right of the decimal point, and that's what we have here. Again, no rounding needed. We're just going to put that answer in just the way it is. Okay, next up. A cylinder has a height of 13 inches and a radius of 10 inches. What is its volume? I'm just going to go over to the calculator this time. I'm going to clear this out and I'm going to start to fill this in. So we know it's 3.14 times the radius squared. Let's come back over here. Our radius is 10 inches. So 3.14 times the radius squared times the height, and the height is 13. Okay, another one where we don't have to do any rounding. 4,082. Okay, another word problem, no picture. I almost think the word problems are even a little easier because you don't have to interpret the picture. But hopefully we'll get some more picture problems as well. All right, so I'm going to head over here and just clear this out. And we always start with 3.14 times the radius squared. So this one cylinder has a height of 2 millimeters and a radius of 4 millimeters. So 4 squared, that's our radius, times whatever the height is, and the height was 2 millimeters. Okay. Remember, we're rounding to 2 decimal places, and that's all we have here, so we don't really need to think about rounding. All right, another word problem. Ooh, this one's a little bit different. This one says, a cylinder has a radius of 4 centimeters. Its volume is 552.64 cubic centimeters. What is the height of the cylinder? Oh, geez, this one they're giving us the volume. All right, so let's start off by just writing out our formula. So volume equals 3.14 times the radius squared times the height. Let's fill in all of the numbers that we know, okay? It says that a cylinder has a radius of 4 centimeters and the volume is 552.64. So we know the volume. What is this going to look like? 552.64 equals, copy down our 3.14, times the radius squared. The radius is 4, so times 4 squared times h. Okay, and hopefully they're going to ask us to find the height. Let's go see. Yes, they are. What is the height of the cylinder? Okay, so there's a couple of ways to do this. The way that I'm going to do this here is if I want to get h all by itself, I want to undo what's being done to the h. So what's being done to it? Well, we're multiplying h times 4 squared and we're multiplying it times 3.14. So all we have to do here to get h by itself is divide this whole thing by 3.14 times 4 squared. And we can do this because this is all multiplication. We can just divide by that entire expression. And when we do that, this is going to cancel out on this side. Remember, we have to do the same thing to both sides. And over here on the left, this is really the expression that's going to go into the calculator. So we've got 3.14 times 4 squared. Okay, so on the right, what's happening? Well, the 3.14 times 4 squared over 3.14 times 4 squared gets canceled. We're just left with h. So h is going to be equal to, whatever this expression turns out to be. So let's go pop it into our calculator. So this is like a big fraction or a big division problem. So I'm going to start off by clicking on that A over B tool right there. My numerator is 552.64. And then I'm going to click down into the denominator. The denominator is 3.14 times 4 squared. Okay, and look at that. Our answer is 11. So reassuring, a nice whole number answer. All right. I love when we get an answer that is not a decimal. So our answer is just 11. Okay, so this one was a little bit trickier. When they're asking you to find volume, it's pretty straightforward because we just use our volume formula. When they're asking you to find either the height or the radius, it's a little trickier. You have to write out your volume formula and then use your algebra skills to solve for whatever variable they're asking you to solve for. Let's hit submit. Let's see what we get next. Hopefully we have time to do one more. Okay. This is another one where they're just asking us to find volume. So it's going to be pretty straightforward. When they're asking you to find volume, you can almost just go straight over to the calculator and start to build that formula. Remember, it's 3.14 times r squared times h. Okay, and I'm doing this because I know the question is, what is the volume? If it was, what is the radius or what is the height, I would not be going so fast. Okay, so our radius is 10. So 3.14 times 10 squared plus, or sorry, not plus, whoops, times the height. And then the height is just 5. Okay, our answer is 1,570. Let's go put that in. Maybe we even have time for one more after this. Oh, cool. This is another one where they are asking us to find the height. Okay, so we are going to start by writing out our formula. So we know that volume is equal to 3.14 times r squared times h. Okay, let's go read the problem. It says the volume of the cylinder is 2009.6 cubic feet. What is the height? Okay, so we know the volume, so let's plug that in for V. So 2009.6 equals, copying from above, 3.14 times the radius squared. They're not giving us the radius in the problem, but they give it to us in the picture. Remember, the radius is the distance from the center out to the edge. So 3.14 times the radius squared, 8 squared, times h. H is what we're going to solve for. And remember, this is just like the other one that we did. We want to get h by itself, so we're just going to divide both sides by everything that's being multiplied by h. So divide both sides by 3.14 times 8 squared. This is 3.14. And then 3.14 times 8 squared. And on the right side of the equation, these guys are going to cancel, and we're just going to be left with h. So our answer is going to be whatever this expression is. So 2009.6, there should be a little point right there. That's our numerator. So make the fraction 2009.6 as our numerator. Our denominator is 3.14 times 8 squared. So 3.14 times 8 squared. Final answer is 10. All right, we'll hit submit on this one. Hopefully it's correct. All right, guys, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.